You found the abandoned house. Actually, quickly, I'll just bring up my little session thing just so I don't forget anything. So, you guys found the house that you heard about, and you begun to scope it out. And Doderick took the lead and snuck inside. And inside, you heard some voices in the back room of just some people talking or whatnot. So you come back out and relayed that to everybody, and you all hid and waited in anticipation. And Chug began to knock on the door and knocked pretty loudly, and eventually a man appeared, a human man, and quickly dismissed you and told you all to go away before returning back into the back of the house.
Wasn't he a dwarf?
Yeah, I swear he was a dwarf.
Was he? I thought he was human. Oh. Wind it back. A dwarf appeared and told you all to bugger off. Doderick, you then followed him inside, being well hidden, and you investigated the rest of the house. And in the bedroom, you found some parchments with some magical formula, which was attempting to combine a Zimbora-like crystal and human souls for some sort of weird dark magic. After that, you then again returned to the rest of the group to relate what you had heard, but the dwarf managed to catch you and then screamed for help, and then another dwarf emerged with a spirit of flame, and that dwarf you did recognize, and that was Brothor, the dwarf that you had rescued from the mine some days ago. Brothor immediately shouted at you guys and engaged you in combat, as did the Spirit of Flame. And whilst the flame was beginning to burn down the house, the dwarf fled into the night. Now Chug, coming in, channeled all of his holy energy into one huge swing of his maul, and with a devastating blow destroyed the Spirit of Flame. But both the unknown dwarf and Brothor had vanished into the night. And that's where you guys have been left with.
So we investigate that hole, yeah.
Before we investigate the hole, I want to thoroughly look through the kitchen to see if there's any other clues of what they were talking about, like left documents or anything.
Good plan.
Okay.
Because I assume they were talking there for a reason.
Don't look at me. I'm Butthole. I'm an asshole, and I try to kill my friend.
His name's not Butthole. You're rude.
He's Butthole now.
Alright, so one, can I get you to roll investigation, please?
$12 plus 4, 16.
16, cool. So you have a good look around the kitchen area and such. Unfortunately, it just appears to be a plain kitchen and dining area. Wooden seats, wooden table, chest of drawers featuring some cutlery and some plates and such underneath the lamp at the top area. Up the top of the room.
Lame. Worst 16 ever.
Do we want to look at doing a short rest before going?
Yeah, I need to get some health back. I want a short rest on the bed for a bonus free hit dice.
Is this sponsored by Bethesda or?
Yeah. So how long? Is it? Who doesn't need health?
I think me.
I need a long rest because exhaustion.
Just as timekeeping, it's about 1 in the morning about now.
Yes, I'm cool for a long rest. Let's do a long rest.
I'm in because I've burnt all my spell slots on that last fight. It killed me.
I'm in.
Shotgun bed.
Do you think because I'm small, I could like sleep at the foot of the bed, like near your feet? Is that cool?
Like a little hobbit slave.
Yes. Just like that.
You could sleep in that pot you kept jumping in and out of.
No, that wasn't very comfortable. I like the bed.
I will remind you guys you did find a big crate full of blankets.
I've got a bed, I'm fine.
Do blankets make your long rest more efficient?
No, but RP's sake, you're a lot more comfortable.
I love the kitchen table.
Remember that the main room, when you try and sleep in there, it's got holes in the wall.
And
Well,
it smells still strongly of smoke.
Do like me some smoke.
All right, let's do it. Let's long rest instead of talking about it. Come on.
All
Yep. Dirty. Long
All right.
rest.
All right, so are you guys taking a watch order?
Well,
I'm not watching.
In terms of watching, how much of that long rest do I need to rest in order to get the long rest benefit? If there's a watch order of me watching for the first 6 hours and then someone else
A
takes
long
it.
rest is essentially 6 hours over an 8-hour period.
Okay.
Alright, I'll watch first.
Here's a question for you, DM. When I look at D&D Beyond and I go to take a long rest, it says to recover 1 level of exhaustion during this rest requires food and drink. Now I have food, but I spent most of my water dousing that fire.
Can I get you to roll investigation, please?
I've already investigated. There's no water, remember?
I can generate
17.
water.
17. So you scrounge around the rest of the house. You go through this sort of the kitchen area, which is in that main room that was on fire, which is where the food was being prepared. The dining area was the next room where Juan was checking it out. And you do manage to scrounge up a few cured meats, some more cheeses and such, a few freshly picked vegetables as well, and also a couple of pails of water, which you can share and distribute amongst yourselves. And have, like, not a fulfilling meal, but enough to satisfy any hunger or thirst.
Nice.
Suit
I
yourself.
shotgun last on the resting, so I get all my spell slots back, and I can do the last bit of spell slots.
Well, I can first watch. I don't mind.
Sweet. And we need 2 more. You 2 pick an order, go.
I'm happy either way.
Alright, you're second. Alright, so Jonah, Fuzzy. Oh, not Jonah.
Lefner.
Lefner. Chug. Dodrick. Juan. Mostly because I'm nearly dead.
Okay. For role players' sake, are you getting the blankets out? Like, where are you all resting? And where are you taking watch? Lefner? Are you
Well,
patrolling the house?
No, I suggest to the team that they all huddle up in the bedroom and that one prestidigitations up the 2 windows. And then we can close the door.
Prestidigitation works.
And then I'm going to take post on this table, and during the time, I'll meditate on updating my spells, and that way I've got clear vision of the main entrances.
Alright, cool.
Cool. I've got bed. Dodrick, get on in there. Unless you are, and it's just bug you out again.
Before the long rest starts, I ensure to patrol and close all outside doors.
Okay.
Hey, Charlie, your mic stuff. Yeah.
Hey, it's on. Sorry, I'm just quickly doing something. Alright. James, can I get... Oh, left now. Apologies. Can I get you to please roll a perception?
What is that add? 16.
16? Okay. Your watch goes by without event.
Right.
Now, I will say, While you are watching, the wind is picking up. You hear some pretty heavily rustling in the trees from the wind, and just general outside nature. Forest. You can hear a couple of birds and such. Lots of crickets, a frog here and there. Cool. Chug, you've now taken watch. Can I get you to roll perception, please?
What do I... 17.
17. About an hour and a half into your watch, you think that you notice a light on the outside of the main room where you entered. Just a very brief flicker, and then it was gone.
Okay.
What do you do?
I suppose I stand watch near the window in case it happens again.
Jog smash.
Not yet.
Are you on roll 20, Monday?
Yes. But I haven't really been looking at it.
Sorry.
Cool. So you're just going to wait and watch? See if it
Yep.
pops up? You do not see it again. Dodrick, you take over from watch, and it begins to rain. The temperature of the house begins to drop, that cool, fresh air from having a house quite high and a very mountainous climate. You have that very crisp, cold air coming through. Can I get you to roll
Lovely.
perception, please?
17. Oh, do I have disadvantage? Or no, because I'm resting.
You currently have disadvantage.
I rolled the same, 17 twice.
So this is how you roll. It all starts like good at the start of the session, goes downhill.
Apparently, I just don't want to jinx anything, so I just roll normal, okay?
Sorry, Carl just had a question. Where are you at? You are, actually, it's until you complete the long rest, so we haven't completed it yet, so yes, still disadvantaged.
I rolled 17 twice, so 17.
Nice work. Your rest goes by without event. One.
Technically now I've long rested, yeah?
No, it's the end of the 8 hours. As far as it works, this is all it. If you were to be interrupted now, nobody would have experienced the complete rest.
Alright, I just, as I'm getting out, to have a quick look at both the windows and out this one as well, just, and then sit on down to watch.
Okay. Can I get you to roll perception?
Uh, 12.
12. Now, Chug, did you tell the group about what you saw? Considering you didn't see it again, did you think anything of it?
I thought it might have been the bastard running away with the torch.
Yeah.
After hiding, but too late. Couldn't chase him down.
Alright, so
Maybe it was someone going down that hole or coming out of it.
It was outside though.
yeah, it was
Do you think-
outside.
Hmm.
So yeah, I did say it was outside near where you came in the bushes. One, you think that you see a light in similar space. Again, just a quick flash, and then it's gone.
I just pretty much just keep an eye out, like just, don't stress myself, but I just keep, sturdy watch over that area, making sure if I see any movement that's not rain or wind.
One flashes the light back.
Alright. It's now the sun has risen through your part of the watch on. You could all successfully complete a long rest without event.
Yay, spell slots.
Yay! Health. Ah. Alright, we go down the hole. And I don't mention it.
All right. Cool. So there is a ladder at the hole there. Hey.
I was just going to say, I took the time in my long rest to meditate and learn spells. Should I share them with the group, or?
That's you can say that. Yep.
I was actually going to swap out a spell as well.
All right. Well,
Do we mind if I swap?
Not at all.
I
So
didn't think you could swap spells unless you're leveling up.
I narrated. Oh, sorry. I said because we figured out the bonus action rule that I will allow you to swap a spell during your rest. Now, Jug, you can obviously prepare a different set of spells that you're choosing at the end of a rest. Typically, you have to level up to swap spells, unless your class specifically says that you can swap them during a rest of some sort.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. I'm stuck with them. I can't.
But I did say if you wanted to pick a swift spell with a bonus action, you can swap one. Because we were sort of using the double cantrip rule incorrectly.
Okay. So you're letting me swap a spell?
Just one spell. Because your choice, and this is because had you known this before you picked your spells, you might have picked different ones.
Sure. Sounds good.
Alright, well, while they're picking, I will explain that I have learnt 2 new spells. The first one is to help circumvent a future butthole assist problem, which is a hold person paralyzed spell.
Yep.
And the other one is a misty step, sort of a blink, which I can use as a bonus action if we ever need the extra movement.
I decided not to change because I can't get rid of the one spell I would have.
Yeah, it turns out I have no bloody one thingy.
No
slot
swift ones.
registered.
Okay. Alright, so have you all chosen? Are you still picking, Dodric?
Kind of picking. I was eyeing off this spell. Let me read it out. It's called Witch Bolt. A beam of crackling blue energy lances out toward a creature within range, forming a sustained arc of lightning between you and the target. Make a ranged spell attack against that creature. On a hit, the target takes 1d12 lightning damage, and on each of your turns for the duration, which is 1 minute, you can use your action to deal 1d12 lightning against the target automatically.
So
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, think of it like a lightning rod. Once you've hit, the spell keeps casting for a minute each time that you choose to do damage. So you shouldn't have to
Yeah, I
roll
get it.
dice.
But it can break. Like, if the target moves out of range, then it's severed. And if I decide to do something else, then it's severed. Which, it sounds pretty cool. And I feel like in that fight, could have been useful. Or I could go for something that's a little bit more, I don't know, RP friendly for a rogue, which would be like Ice Knife, where you fling an icy knife at the target, which is similar damage, but it's like once off. So once it's done, I'd have to rest or something. What do you guys think?
It's definitely interesting.
I'd say as long as I have spell slots, me and Warlock friend should be good to take on another one of those fiery beasts now that we know what we're dealing with. So, but yeah, either way.
Cool. Alright, so what are you doing next?
Down the hole. Chug
Down the
first.
hole. Are you all going down there?
Yeah.
Not quite.
Go on ice knife.
Because I slept all the way through the regales of people seeing a light, I just want to step out into the yard a little bit, just probably 15 yards away from the front door, and just do a check to see if there's anything obvious.
Okay. Okay, so you just step out and do an investigation, please.
That is 23.
You are able to now see with the morning light broken branches and some muddy tracks, although the rain has covered most of this. But for the first couple of meters, you're able to see what you believe to be the tracks of Rotor entering the thick forest.
Anything to possibly explain what the light might be?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm good for the hole now.
Cool. All right, everybody jumping down.
Carefully.
Who?
Chances are you'll have the ladder break and someone will break their neck.
Who's going first?
I'll go first, but I'll climb down the ladder slowly.
Gingerly.
Gingerly. Can I get you to make a perception as you go down?
Uh, 5.
5. So as you enter this particular space, there's a very small amount of light coming down from the ceiling above as you pass through. You're able to, once you're in and adjust to the light, you're able to see fairly clearly, and you can see this to be what looks to be a sort of like a spell workshop. There's lots of notes being taken and sprawled out across some desks. Hold on, let me reveal it for you. So yeah, you're able to see a couple of closed crates very similar to above you. There is a desk with a lantern on the top of it and a couple of drinking mugs. Immediately in front of you, you can see a very large desk with an incredible amount of books and parchment and other notes. Plenty of books all piled up as well. Just in the corner, and a wooden chair. What you also notice is the body of a deceased human in the corner of the room as well.
Does it smell really bad?
Yes, you have a scent of decaying and rotting flesh as you enter down into it.
Right, so it's been dead for a while then.
There's also a well with a bucket in the corner.
Found water, Bundy.
God damn it, he wanted us to go down here early.
Sorry, did you say there was water?
There's a well with a bucket.
I'd like to try and refill my water thing, whatever it's called.
Yeah, water skin.
Yes.
All right. So do all you guys sort of follow down as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't hear anything? There's no extra light beyond the lamp on the table?
Can I get you to roll perception?
18.
18. You listen intently, and with your senses, you're able to hear the dripping of water in the well, and you can also hear what sounds to be sort of rocks sort of grinding or such with the flow of the water on the underneath. Otherwise, your space is silent, apart from the noise that's sort of enumerated from the well.
Alright, then can I go look in the crates?
Yes? Now these crates are nailed shut. Did you still have your crowbar from before, or is that left upstairs?
I have the pickaxe, yes.
Yep. Can I get you to roll a strength check with advantage, please?
Oh, good thing for advantage. What dice has got? Uh, 9.
9?
Yep.
You get the pickaxe, but you just can't find a good pivoting point. Every time you sort of pull the pickaxe, you just sort of splinter wood away from the lid of the crate. You try several times, but you just can't get a good purchase onto it, and you just can't pry it open with the axe. This one seems to be nailed shut quite quite strongly.
I walk over and I'm like, too tough for you, Chug. Here, I'll open it, and I pull out my crowbar and give it a crack.
All right, can I get you to roll a strength check? Not with advantage, because... Oh, no, we'll do advantage as well. No, I was going to say Chug's damaged the crate a little bit, but no, you should be able to still find a...
I only got a 9.
Loosened it up for you.
Hey, so very much like Chug, you start to drive the crowbar into the top, trying to find a good purchase to then leverage the lid open, but you can't. It just sort of drive it into the side of the crate. Every time you try and open it, it just sort of splinters and peels the wood away, and it just fractures, and it's becoming increasingly frustrating.
So I kind of look awkwardly around and I'm like, look, clearly this thing is like magically protected. Get left no.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, I want you to like remove the whatever curse and shit that's on it and open the thing.
Alright, well, I would like to inspect the crates for a magical presence.
Alright, can I get your roll Arcana?
One. I'm not going to look at my bonus.
You can't feel anything magical with
Okay.
that. You're distracted by the noise of the running water sort of coming up from the well, and you try and sort of focus and see if you can feel some sort of magical energy, but your focus is just on the sound of this well.
Okay, well,
Do we still have some dynamite?
We do, but with extreme confidence, I say you guys are just dumb, weak as shit. And I asked them to back up because I feel like they really can't do this. So I am going to aim at the splintered section corner of that crate and fire off an Eldritch Blast at it to try and smash it open.
I rapidly move to the other side of the room.
Yeah, I join one.
Can I, Chug? What are you doing?
I'm also in the corner of the room.
All right, Juan and Doderick, can I get you to roll a acrobatics check, please, as you attempt to nimbly run away?
If there's actually a lock or something on the side.
No, this is happening. This is happening.
I got a 12.
12.
I got a 20, not natural.
Yeah. Okay. So you two, Doderick, you're so much faster than Juan, but Juan still manages to get out of the way as his Eldritch Blast flies towards the crate. Lefter, can I get you to roll an attack roll, please?
Fuck it.
Hey, what's my plus? 18.
18. Can I get you to roll damage, please?
Okay. Oh, shit. I should have toned it back a little bit. 4.
4. So, as you wind up this Eldritch Blast and you fire it over Juan's ducking head as he flees out of the path, this blast just flies into the crate and sends this almighty shockwave into the crate and vibrating. And for a second you think you haven't done anything, and then this huge explosion of green fire just sends the crate to splinters, sending everywhere. I'm going to roll an attack roll for each. Sorry. Lefter, what's your AC? Closest.
11.
11. So there's a hit. And Chug, what's your AC?
11.
11. Okay. So this explosion of splinters just showers you in wood. You take 1 piercing damage from the explosion.
Both of us?
No, just you.
Oh, just me. Okay. Sweet.
How do you only have 11 AC? Was it?
Yeah,
He's
11
not wearing
That's
armor.
pretty low.
Yeah, 11 is low.
I don't have a shield, and I'm wearing leather armor.
Same with me. Like, I'm only wearing
I've
leather.
got 14 AC.
Yeah, I got 15 wearing studded leather.
Studded leather.
I don't
Oops,
have.
Tully, lift your game. Jeez.
No, he has low because his dexterity. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure dexterity correlates into AC, and he's got a -1.
Alright. Well, I cackle with a bit of laughter, and I'm like, that was a close one. I then apply mage armor to myself
Okay.
after the fact. And I'm like, I really should remember what's going on with this thing.
You
So
could
mu-
have just let me hit it with the hammer.
Nah, that was fun. And then following that, I'm going to inspect what the hell was in that crate. Or what is left of it.
Alright, can I get you to roll investigation, please?
That is terrible. 7.
7. So, you're trying to clear away fragments of splintered wood from your face and dust, and the room's sort of covered with this sort of deep green smoke that's sort of just very lightly sort of flowing up and then through the hole in the ceiling as the oxygen just sort of flows back down. You are able to just discern that wood is now everywhere. The books that were next to the that crate have been sent, scattered, and parchment is everywhere towards the left-hand side of the room. What you're also able to find is small, clear shards, like rocky, almost like glass, but not. It's a more thicker, less opaque than glass. It's almost transparent, maybe 50%, 60% of light goes through, but it's
Is
this
it like
foggy
a
sort
kyber
of.
crystal?
Hey, what? Sorry,
A kyber crystal.
what the hell is that?
Star Wars.
Thing,
Yeah, probably yes.
it's the thing in the lightsaber.
Yeah, probably not as pretty as Star Wars, but yeah, you've got this clear, greeny, grey sort of crystal, these little shards that are everywhere now.
Nice.
So
Yeah, let's
this
open up the
might
other
be,
crate.
these might be the crystals they were going to use in that enchanting experiment thing.
Yeah, do I recognize these crystals based on the parchment that was given to me upstairs?
Can you roll investigation once more with advantage?
That'd be a 21, I think. Hang on. No, 22.
22. You recognize these crystals. You have seen it before in the cave with the rats. This particular crystal, while it's not glowing with the white energy, it has the same opaque and texture to it that you remember from the cave. You're also able to put a link between that and the notes that that Dodric found upstairs, and you're able to recognize that these crystals were also what you found fragments of in the mine where you were attacked by the cultists.
Ooh. Okay. Well, I'll regale that to the group and explain that this is very reminiscent of when we blew up that crystal that sent us down to the lower cave, and it was controlling the rats. So I have a feeling that maybe Mr. Corpse Underground was the first human that they were trying to control with these crystals.
So we think they're used to control something or something.
Or, well, based on the notes they're trying to buy. a human spirit, right?
Yeah. Does that necessarily mean control, though? I
Don't
mean,
know.
it could be something like empowering the crystal with energy and then used for something else, for all we know.
Binding the crystal to a life so they can summon a fucking demon god.
Yeah, maybe.
Can I investigate the body? Is there any clothes, anything identifying?
Can I get you to roll investigation?
What's mine? 19.
19. The body is a human male. You're able to discern that he was middle age. His face and skin, you can see like the skin is almost sucked straight into his skeletal structure. The bones are incredibly detailed outside of the clothing. He's just wearing standard commoner's clothing. You do notice that there are a couple of sort of gashes in the ribs where a blood stain is. Nothing that would have been life-threatening, but he certainly has been stabbed in the lower ribs, or an injury has occurred there. Leather boots, commoner's clothes, just standard cloth pants, cloth shirt. Nothing really noticeable or indistinguishable sort of stands out. Like there's no tattoos or distinct facial features that you can see through this sort of very skeletal remains. You're actually able to also discern that the body would, through the decomposing process, like the skin and such is all intact, and the body would actually be relatively fresh, like within a couple of 24 hours or so. But given that the skin is just so gone, and there's like no muscle mass on this body at all, you feel that this death was of magical means.
Almost like it might have been sucked dry.
Does he have eyelids that I can close?
There is no eyeballs in the sockets.
Ned, after all that, did we open one crate or both of them?
One.
I would like to go up to the other crate and attempt to open it.
You've already attempted to open both crates.
Yeah, but I want to try it because I'm a bard. Like, I want to investigate it and have a proper look and see if there's,
Oh no, you haven't attempted to open it. Yeah, of course you can. Can I
I
get
was
you?
just chilling.
Yeah.
I was watching the destruction.
What are you just using your hands to try and open it?
Now I'm having a look around to see if there's an obvious way to open it, like if there's, something blatantly obvious.
Can I get your roll investigation?
Cool. Non-natural 20.
You're able to. You have a good look around, and you can just see that the crate is nailed shut with several very large nails just going straight down. Like the crate is built with almost like a wooden interior frame with then panels sort of stuck on the outside, almost like a forklift pallet. You got that center body, and then the top and bottom of the pallet are nailed on top. And you can see the lid is nailed into that frame with several nails on each side.
Alright. I'd like to use my miner's pick and use it like a crowbar and kind of wedge the nails out one
Sure.
by one.
Can you roll strength with advantage, please?
Get higher than a 10.
I got a 15 and a 12, but I have a -1, so 14.
14. It takes you a bit of go, but you have a great deal more success than both Doderick and Chug, and you're actually able to find a purchase and get that miner's pick. And you leverage it down, and with a good amount, like it takes a bit, and you sort of get your foot onto the crate and really give it a reef back, and it gives way, and you sort of fall back and hit the ground, but the lid of the crate pops open. And you're able to sort of recompose yourself, stand up, and use the miner's pick again, just to continue leveraging until you've got the entire lid of the crate off the top.
I raise my hands in an attempt to Eldritch Blast. And then just pull them back and say, I gotcha.
I want to have a look in, see what's in there.
Okay.
Obviously.
Again, investigation, please.
14.
14. So you go and have a peer into this crate, and you can see it's not what you expected. There's sort of a felt blanket which is sort of lining the inside of the crate, and the edges.
I climb up the thing and run. It's not another living one, is it?
Let me finish. So there's a blanket just around the edge of the crate, which looks like it was protecting something on the inside. But as you look in, you see this tiny, sort of very large amounts of powder, or very sort of like safety guard shards of this white, very bright, illuminating, sort of crystally powdery dust.
Down Walter White's medieval lab.
Yeah. Now, Chug, I'm actually going to say that you step over and have a look at this. Can you roll investigation with advantage, please?
Six for the third. 2. So 6.
So 6. So you walk over and you have a look, and you recognize these shards, and only just by pure reflex, but it looks like the same holy energy that you're familiar with. Like you can feel a radiating energy sort of coming out of this.
I'd say these feel for.
They feel familiar, yeah.
Is this the powder?
So this is like the little glass shards. Like I'm trying to think, like picture the box with a blanket around the edges of the box, which one expects was protecting something, and then all these crystal glass shards that now sit at the bottom of the crate, which is sort of a very faint white light, sort of glowing from it.
I'd like to pocket some of these.
I hold you back and instead go get one of the buckets and put it in that. Because I don't think we should touch it.
I'm tempted to put some in the bucket with you and take it outside and blow it up and see if we get the same explosion. A full mad scientist experiment right here.
Well, we could just drop some down that well.
Are there any symbols or engravings or anything?
No. In fact, can I get you all to roll an investigation as a group?
10.
10.
19.
No, just 9.
What did you get? 1?
19.
19. One, you have the idea, like, you... Actually, can I get you a roll in Arcana, just so I can see as well?
All of us or just one?
Just one. He's thinking...
11.
11? You don't have a huge understanding, but you do have a basic knowledge that spirits and such are generally tied to an object, or they are summoned by someone. They don't exist freely in your natural plane. And you think about the flame spirit and how it had purchased, and then it had been slain. And then you also think about all of the arcane notes which have been read to you by Dodric and Lefter, and all these crystals and such, and you're able to put together a very rough estimation that perhaps the crystal that was in this crate may have been what was housing or tying that flame spirit to this plane.
I explain this to our warlock and ask him if he can use this magic for, our purposes.
I think I would need to spend some time studying the arc or the enchanter side of it first, but would I deem that these crystals are completely spent, or could they be reused?
Can I get you to roll Arcana?
1.
You're unsure if they're spent or if they can be reused.
God damn it.
Yeah, because we've got 2 crates, one with crystals that are semi-transparent and another with ones that are glowing. And given everything, they may be these ones that are glowing are the ones that have the souls in them, and the other ones don't. They're just like ready to be used. And this other guy on the ground had his like soul sucked out and put into one of these gems.
Did you keep Mage Hand?
Yes.
All right, I've got a plan. So there's a door, right? Just there, right? It's just at the top there. If you use Mage Hand, grab one of these crystals and pip it through, and we see if like an evil demon comes and kills everything in there. Is that good? Just
You want me to
fucking close the door.
throw a crystal?
Yeah, because I don't want to touch it just in case it's evil. Because
I walk up and I pick one up.
You put it in
Okay.
the bucket and then throw it down.
So, Dodrick, you stick your hand around, you find quite a large chunk of crystal, maybe no more than a 5-cent piece, just a solid thing. You pick it up, and it feels warm. Can I get you to roll Arcana, please?
Natural 20.
Natural 20. You feel a tremendous sense of good while holding this particular crystal. Like, you don't feel evil. You actually, just by holding it at the moment, you feel safe and protected. You also, because you got a natural 20, you are able to discern that this is a holy magic, and it is the same type of holy magic that Chug used when he slew the flame spirit. It is swirling and full of energy, and you sort of feel that something might happen if you were then to break this particular crystal.
Alright, guys, so theory, what happened was that was a fiery crystal that was in one big piece. When Chug slew it with his magical holy power, it broke up the crystal, which was that big fire demon upstairs, and now it's imbued with holy power. So I reckon Chug gets free spell slots.
I reckon.
I think we should make Chug eat them.
I reckon that these crystals contain the souls of people, and a warlock might use one of these to summon something like a fiery demon or something else. So I'm tipping that maybe if we break it, we might release a spirit or something like that. So I think we should give that a go. Thought?
Outside near the horse.
I think do more reading because
Yeah.
it
Actually,
could
yeah.
well be to summon the elements or whatever. They need both a good soul and maybe dark magic. So maybe the good soul is from the people that have gone missing.
DM, how brittle does this crystal feel?
As in, its destructive nature, if it was to break.
Yeah, like if I were to pivot against the wall, would it break?
Yes, you feel that would be. It wouldn't take much. Like
I pivot against the wall as hard as I can.
Oh god.
All right, so you fling this crystal incredibly hard, and immediately everybody's vision. Can I get you all to make a wisdom save, please?
So I add what, +4, which is my wisdom?
Yeah.
Okay, 16.
19.
19. And Chug?
13.
13. So, you all manage to shield yourself, but this blinding light just radiates and just explodes from the wall. Dodrick, so who had the highest roll?
I had 19.
19. So you were actually no, I'm actually going to say that Chug, you were able to realize that the same spell effect that happened was now I've forgotten the spell. I'm so sorry. But the is it Searing Light, which is the cantrip that. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I'm sorry. I have to break character for this. But I need to
Is
find
like a
this.
divine sense that he used or something?
No. There's a cleric cantrip that can be used. Let me quickly find it.
It's like a big beam of light type thing.
Sort of. I'm thinking of like WoW, the Holy Smite or whatever it is. Sacred Flame is the spell. So you just see this burst of white flame just come out from the wall and explode. Chug, you're able to realize that the spell, or not spell, but the explosion was incredibly similar to a Sacred Flame cantrip.
Okay. I'm gonna read the book on the table now that we've experienced that.
While he's doing that, I start picking up all the parchments that was scattered earlier and try and make sense of it all, read it all, figure it all out with. Yeah.
Okay. Chug and Doderick, what are you guys doing?
Is this spare rope in the corner?
Spare
So what's
rope?
that?
Yes, it is spare rope.
I take some rope because we may need it.
Okay. Add 1 length of rope to your inventory. It's about 10 meters long.
Oh, Dodrick, can I have one of your shitty daggers? Because I realize I can 2-weapon fight.
Yep. So I'll give a dagger to one,
Mhm.
and I'm going to pocket a few of each of these crystals. So let's say 3 of these glowing ones and 3 of the pale ones.
All right. Can I get you to roll investigation?
13.
13. So you dig your hand through the rubble of the crystals, and you're able to find 3 large chunks which are similar to the size that you threw against the wall, but sort of discern that all the other pieces are too fine, like sand, or they're just too small for you. So you're able to find 3 chunks, which is very similar, of size and of sort of similar spell power, I suppose. I'm trying to think of a different word, but they feel the same as that first one that you held. Now, Lefner and Juan, can I get you to also roll investigation?
20, non-natural.
And Juan?
I only got 13.
13. So Juan, you're able to sort of pick up the papers. It takes you probably a good half an hour or an hour to go through and pick up a lot of the papers since the explosion of the crate. You're basically looking at it, trying to discern like page orders and such, and you're able to piece back together. It takes you a bit of time, but piece back together some order of the notes. And Lefner, you go through the book, and it seems to be more of a continuation of the notes that Doderick found upstairs. More attempts of attempting to bind souls to these crystals, and there's shipments of these crates which are coming from an undisclosed space. But essentially, you're able to discern that somebody is paying him gold to perform these experiments on the crystals, and they are supplying him with a shipment of crystals to do his work. You also come across notes of attempts during these experimentations, and notes of like furious scribble to sort of indicate that it didn't go according to plan.
How big or heavy is this book?
It's relatively small. Maybe your sort of thin 50-page typical novel that you would get at one of our libraries. So, this is just a small notes diary. Not big, easy to be able to put into a pocket and carry around or conceal under your jacket.
I pocket it.
Sure. Can I get you to add the Enchanter's Journal to your inventory?
Is
One.
there anything?
Sorry.
I was going to say, is there anything in the other cupboards that are not book related?
Can I get you to roll investigation, please?
13.
13. You go through the cupboards and books. You find a very odd gem. It is sitting on the wardrobe on the very, very left of the room. Actually, one right behind where one is at the moment. And it's this red-ish gem, which is sort of very triangular, shaped like a pyramid. It is incredibly deep in color, although some light does pass through the entire part of it, but it's mostly opaque. Can I get you to roll Arcana?
20.
20? Did you say 20? Yep. You feel a good deal of magic coming from this this item.
Does it feel like good magic or bad magic?
Um,
Or
Indifferent. No,
anti-magic?
it doesn't feel threatening. It doesn't feel safe. It does feel magical. It doesn't feel dangerous, but it doesn't feel like it's going to protect you either.
Can I pick it up and hand it to Lefner to analyze further?
Sure.
All right. It's a gem.
It is a gem. Can you please add 1 red gem to your inventory?
Can I? Well, before I do that, can I perform an Arcana check to see if I can discern the magical essence from it, different than a paladin could?
Yeah, go for it.
13.
13. You don't learn anything new, but you do feel that if you spend some time sort of looking it over, perhaps something new might reveal itself.
Okay, 1 for the long rest. What am I adding?
1 red gem.
Do I just put in my other possessions?
Yeah.
Or is there an
Yeah,
actual...
just in your little note journal. Now, Chug, you continue to sort of go through the cupboards and such, and you also find a single 6-sided die. 2 seconds. I want to make sure I describe this correctly. It is made of ivory, and it has some weird symbols carved into each of its sides. Can I get you to make again an Arcana check with this one?
17.
17. You are able to recognize some of these symbols as symbols of conjuration magic.
That sounds frightening.
I show the others and say, here's the summoning die. They've been playing D&D too.
Mm.
Okay, you show it around. What do you guys do?
I have a look. Do we recognize it or know of anywhere it's from?
Can you roll Arcana? I'm assuming all you guys are now studying this.
Yeah.
So can you roll Arcana with advantage, please, as you're being assisted?
Ooh, natural 20.
Natural 20. You've heard of these before. Just general little trinkets that enchanters make as a bit of fun or a bit of practice. This die you recognize is being able to throw it, and depending on the way it lands, it will have an effect of some sort. The die, as you sort of hold it and take it from Chug, it feels warm to hold. Yeah, warm to hold, and it has a very slight yellow glow coming from the greyish white ivory.
Did it feel warm to me, or just...
Yes, yeah, it felt warm to you, but almost room temperature. But to Juan, when he holds it, it feels unnaturally sort of. To you, you felt that it was just the item.
Skin.
You felt it was just the item being naturally warm, but Juan was able to hold it and feel that no, this wasn't naturally warm. This was warm from a magical source.
Alright, I hand it back to Chug, look him in the eye and go, this, use it in a time of need. Throw it at your enemies.
My pocket.
Chug, can you add an ivory conjuration die to your inventory?
Is that an actual thing? Or
That is an actual thing. Yep.
While he's doing that, I gather up the rest of the papers with the intent of copying them and handing them out to people later to tradesies, because obviously might be of value.
Okay. Can I get you to roll investigation on the papers? Just because you sort of just picked them up and you haven't really looked at them just yet. 13. you sort of recognise them as being similar to the other notes that Dodrick and Dodrick and Lefner have found, and you sort of show them to sort of get their confirmation. And Lefner, you do confirm to one that it is similar notes, but this is more sort of ramblings and workings out and lots of scribbles. It's less sort of formulaic and more sort of workings out, I suppose. If you think of it, likely the difference is being one's holding the maths textbook and you're holding the student's attempts at trying to work it out. You sort of feel that there wouldn't be much value in copying a lot of these notes down.
Is there any reference in any of the notes to the identity of anyone that they're doing tests?
They're all scribbled with the initials, sort of VR.
Each page, or
Just the main formula, which is being provided, is VR. You also come across a name as well. Sorry, let me just bring this up again. I just want to make sure I get this correct. Which I think is Balazar.
Balazar.
Balazar. And if you... can I get you to roll investigation once more? To try and work out this new clue.
10.
10. You think you recognise the name from the note that you found in the cave.
Balazar. Thought Ivor Lutka. He was the dead mage.
Balthazar, common name for a demon.
Did one of you guys pocket that note?
Me look, I don't think I did.
Where was it from?
There's a note that you found in the quartermaster's tent in the mine.
I feel I had that because I shared it with the guys.
And you
I never said I gave it up though.
Oh, sorry, say that again.
Yeah, I feel I had that. Yeah, I have letter.
Yep.
Just under 10.
Okay, so that note reads, Balazar, take the mine, and then it's signed BD. Balazar Berein, take the mine, and signed BD. I find the note, but it's in my Discord chat, and I don't want to go through it because to screw up the overlays and shit.
BD or VD?
BD. Chug, you also find, as you're sort of scrummaging around, oh, sorry, there is a door in that room as well. I haven't described that. There is a white door just to the north of the dead body. Sorry, I should have mentioned that earlier.
We were getting to it.
Alright, so you find a couple of books written in what languages do you know? Actually, what languages do you all know? Elven? Everybody knows Common.
Celestial, Common, Elvish, and Infernal.
Common, Draconic, and Elvish.
Common and Orc.
What tab's it under?
Under proficiencies, bottom left. Proficiencies.
Halfling and common.
Halfling and Common. None of you guys recognise the language that it is written, but you also, near these books, you find a couple of photo of almost sketched illustrations of two dwarves. Two dwarves sort of standing mining picks.
Do we recognize them as one being Brothor?
Can I get your roll investigation?
9.
9? No, you don't recognise them as being Brotor.
For a town that doesn't like magic, there's a fuck ton of magic going on.
This was a book or a note that we found?
This is a few books, like a series of books.
What's the? Oh, it's a series of books in a language we don't know.
Yeah, 3 or 4 books in a language you don't know. You find an illustration in one of the books of 2 dwarves holding mining picks.
Well, maybe we should take these for later and see if we find anyone that might be able to.
Yeah, I was taking the journal with the intent of going to talk to the captain to get more information, so we can possibly take these books.
Do they look like they're handwritten, like notes, or like published, like there'd be multiple copies around? Maybe like a
handwritten. Can I get your roll history?
13.
13. So published books are incredibly rare, mostly found in the cities and such, due to them being quite expensive to write and reproduce. Most books that you've come across are mostly handwritten. And they're handwritten by professional scribes and such like that.
Is there anything about the content of the books that might indicate what it's about? Like I know we saw a dwarf with a...
aside from... Okay, so I'll get your roll investigation as well, just to sort of see.
16.
16. You come across a few other illustrations, and they seem to depict various minerals, mining, and these 2 pictures of these dwarves.
Right. So it could be like books on how to be a miner, finding these crystals.
Could be.
Or it could be a history of the mine in Berein.
Could be.
Chug's a little bored while she's read, so he goes and knocks on the door.
Okay, you knock on the door. You neither get no response, nor do you hear anything shuffle or move around.
Can I pull up that bucket from the well, and assuming I get water, I'm going to refill my water?
Sure. Can I get you to roll a strength check as you try and pull the bucket?
10.
10? You try and pull the bucket, but it's snagged. Like, you give it a real good reef, but you're unable to sort of like pull on the rope to pull it out.
Chug, get over here.
I cast prestidigitation down the hole to just light it up, see what's down there, what it's called on.
Can that spell do that?
You can make a light.
A small thing of sparks, I think.
If not, I can do something better.
I can do a shower of sparks, which will light it up, I assume. Just
Really? It just seems funny because I know there's a spell called light, and it would seem a bit overpowered if it could equal that.
I'm sort of liking that if you were running an angle grinder and then trying to see from the sparks, it's incredibly poor light in comparison to the light spell.
What is angle?
So, one, you head over to the well and you look down and cast your prestidigitation, but it is very deep and you do not see anything from the poor light that the sparks give off.
Would I say that it goes beyond the range of my dark vision?
No. So you have a peer down, but from what you can see, because the hole, it's a narrow hole and it gets smaller and smaller. It sort of looks like rubbly or rocks or uneven at the bottom.
Okay. I'm going to in the bucket next to the well. Is that just loose rocks?
Yes.
I pick up I guess a medium-sized stone, probably about what would fit calmly into the palm of my hand. Yep. I cast light on it and I drop it down the.
Okay. This bright light just sort of flies down the well, and when it lands, it hits with a soft thud, like not almost like it's landing on something soft as it sort of hits, and it rolls off to the side and out of vision from the well hole. You have a peer down to see what's happened, and can I get you to roll perception, please?
Natural 20.
Natural 20. You see a whole range of dead bodies.
Nice.
That's just piled up down there.
Can I determine how far away in feet
Now,
they are?
what you're also hearing, because you rolled a natural 20, is that you can hear the running water from the water source beneath the well, but you also hear like a scrape, stop, scrape, stop,
That is frightening.
scrape, and stop.
And you were gonna drink that water.
And just hear this
Oh,
shuffle.
yeah.
And you just hear it like it just drags, and there's a pause. Drag, and you hear the sound, and it gets further away, and then it gets closer.
You know what I'm picturing in my head? That freaking triangle thing guy from Silent Hill that has like a
Pyramid
giant. It's freaking terrifying.
Okay, yeah, so my other question before, based on, dropping the rock and following the light travel, knowing that the light itself is 20-yard radius and another 20-yard radius of dim light, can I determine how far down the well is?
It's about 10 meters down.
So 30 feet.
Yep.
Okay. Can I also determine if one of us would be wide enough to go down there if we were to
Yes,
grapple on
you
a
can
rope?
all fit down there, but single file, one at a time. Chug, it's going to be a tight fit for you, but you will make it. I hope you're not claustrophobic.
Before we do that, maybe let's open this other door and just see what's in the other room.
There could
Okay.
be stairs.
Chuck, go open the door.
Alright, Chug bravely opens the door.
Okay.
Is it locked?
It is not locked. It is open. And what you find is another bedroom with a dead body, deceased body. This body is actually wearing the cultist robes. And it has met the same fate that the previous body. And it has all of its muscle features and such sort of sucked out of it. And the skin is held tightly up against the skeletal bones of the body.
Interesting.
Beyond the cultist robes, is he wearing anything identifying-ish jewelry or necklace or something?
Can I get you to make the investigation?
16.
16. He's wearing a single silver necklace, just a chain. There's no pendant, but just a silver chain. Relatively thick woven clasps, or not clasps, but rings, sort of going around. And by thick, each ring is probably about 1 mil to 2 mils in thickness, and they're about 8 or so mils in diameter. It's you grab it and sort of pick it up without taking it off the body, and it feels heavy under your hand.
I also look under the bed.
The bed is it's a very basic bed. It is 4 wooden legs on a very basic frame with some slats across it and a straw mattress up atop. Underneath, the bed is quite clean. In fact, this whole room is essentially very, very clean. The dresser at the end of the room is just filled with some basic clothing. You find cultist robes, a single set of cultist robes for your average sized male. And apart from that, just general commoners' clothes. Nothing of identifying or personal value inside. Actually, no, I will say you find about 15 gold pieces of value of coins inside this chest of drawers.
Woo. Is that just me finding it, or is everyone finding that?
No, just you. There's 15. You can divvy it out if you wish.
I shall. 15 doesn't go into 4 very well.
I ask him to hold on to a mic. Oh, I turn down. I say split it 3 ways. That is fine.
I say that the dead cultists in here and robe. Do we want to grab the robes in case we need them as a disguise?
I'm good.
I think no, because we've got like half of us dressed in the town guard uniform, don't we?
Yeah. But can we not carry them in a bag or something? Not
Oh, yeah.
right.
Get your loot on.
Or we could take it as evidence.
All
Well,
right.
I think I
Sorry,
was going
you
to say on the evidence side, we've kind of got a well of dead bodies, possibly one alive one, possibly one undead one. Maybe we should go tell the captain.
Okay.
What now?
No, we should go into the well.
Knew you would
I'm
suggest
not
that.
going first.
Oh yeah, I'm not leaving here until we've got in there. Like,
Well,
fight this abomination. I didn't rest.
I'll lower Dodrick into the well, and then if he screams, I'll pull him out really.
Yep.
Can
Good plan.
I?
While he's not responding, do it.
Lefter, how long does your light spell last?
Okay, I will read it.
Just so I can keep time.
So, I touch one object that is no larger than 10 feet in any dimension until the spell ends, which is a duration of 1. The object sheds bright light in a 20-foot radius and a dim light for an additional 20 feet.
So you cut out when you said the duration, sorry?
Oh, 1 hour. 1
1
hour.
hour. Okay.
I also don't need to be lowered. I can walk down because of my boot.
Actually, you won't be able to walk down. It is too thin for you to be upright and walk sideways and go down.
Surely you could shimmy. Think of the Matrix, where they're going through the walls. 1 foot at front, 1 foot at the back, shimmy his way down.
Actually, look, let's say, because I'm thinking of a waist of your average human is about the width of this well. Halflings are small, so can I get you to roll a acrobatics check, please, Dodrick? Just to see.
Okay,
if you're
apparently
able.
I'm doing this.
Oh, God.
Actually, are you or not? If you don't want to do it, then you don't roll.
We're doing it.
I'm doing it.
Get down there.
Do you want a rope around your waist?
Yeah, can we say safety in first before
I
I
don't
can?
need no fucking rope, alright?
Well, if you die, we're not going to be able to come down quick.
I'd like to prepare myself at the top of the well where I can visibly see him at all times.
I got a 12.
12. So you try and get on top of the well, and you start to put your feet in there, and you start to very, very small and crouch, but you won't fit. Not without sort of resting. You wouldn't be able to get a good angle on your feet to be able to stick yourself to the wall. Like part of your foot or your ankle would slide, and you pull yourself back out with the fear of falling.
Okay. With the light still going, so we know that it's a very narrow shaft. We can go down single file, but based on the light, does it appear to open up into a cavern below?
Yes.
Alright, I suggest that we use the rope to lower Dodrick in head first, and that when he opens up into the cavern area, he sticks his boots onto the roof, and then he's walking on the roof. Alright.
Do it.
Alright.
I'm gonna die, by the way.
You wanted to jump in
We're
at
all
all
holding the
30
rope.
feet.
I'm a crazy halfling, whatever. There's something down there, it's gonna fucking murder me, and I'm frightened.
You
It's all
also,
good. We'll have your body by the rope. We can take it back to your family or whatever you got.
Can you cast light more than once? Is this
no, so it will cancel the existing light, but considering that we have a pretty healthy supply of, I choose to cast light on a new rock and give it to him to hold.
cool?
So the light dims down in the cavern. Dodrick, you're now holding a very brightly glowing rock. So who?
I strap it to my belt or something.
All right. So you sort of just tuck it in your belt, sort of fix it in there.
Hold it in your teeth.
You
Alright.
could have lit up a dagger, but whatever.
Can you?
Oh,
guys,
I could. Yeah, if you want to suggest it to me now, I can change it to be
All
running a
right,
dagger.
light up my dagger, you fool.
Alright. I light up his dagger.
You have a
And I
glowing
put the
dagger.
dagger in my belt.
Yep.
Thank you.
That works. All right. So
Now, Chug, lower me down.
how are you doing this?
I think, well, we tie it around his waist.
Absolutely not. I'm holding onto the rope. I ain't being attached to that thing.
But we're going to lower your head first so that your head comes out first, but then your feet can go straight to the ceiling.
That's some pretty impressive upper body strength holding yourself down and your feet up.
Unreal. It's fine. All right. I can do this. I will hold myself against the rope.
I bet he can't do this.
I don't think you can either. I want to tie it around him.
I'm an acrobat.
He's
Alright.
got propel.
I realize he looks very confident and wish him good luck.
Alright.
But I do not inspire him because I don't want to waste a charge on a dead man.
Thanks,
On
Juan.
the other end of the rope.
Let's do it.
I assist Chug in lowering him down.
Okay. Can I get you, Chug, to roll a athletics check with advantage? And Dodrick, can I get you to also roll an athletics check? Actually, no, just straight up strength check for you, Dodrick, because you're holding on to the rope as you go down.
24 for one.
Damn it, Dottie.
And 8 for the next.
This is what I do. I'm a rogue. Why do I have to roll for this?
You fucking
Don't
roll.
forget your halfling thing. You're probably gonna need it.
I mean, lucky?
Yeah, lucky
What?
to re-roll one.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get a 1. I got a 10.
10. You have
Which
the whole.
should be fine.
It's okay. It is fine. It is fine. It was an easy one to do, and you passed.
Thank you.
So Chug and Lefner, you steadily lower Doderick down into the well. And Doderick, as you start to get towards the bottom, the stench of rotten and decaying flesh just hits your nose, and it is absolutely horrible and putrid as you get down. Can I get you to roll a constitution check, please?
Daddy, would I be able to flavor the air so it doesn't smell? Because I can do it to a 1 cubic foot around his nose.
Let's see the constitution first.
14.
14. You hold your stomach, but you are close to dry reaching. Like, the smell is absolutely putrid. One, you are, yeah, I'd say yes. You can create a space. Now, when you target the space, does that space stay still and then Dodrick moves in and out?
I have no idea. It says you chill, warm, or flavor up to 1 cubic foot of non-living material for 1 hour. I don't know. I just want to give him like a 1 cubic foot in his face so he has a chance.
But his face would be living material. He would need a mask or like a mesh or something that you would then.
Surely I've got a hood. I'm a rogue.
But this is prestidigitation, isn't it?
Around your head, I'll make it smell good.
This is prestidigitation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let me just have a look at the spell, because this is supposed to be a cantrip. They're generally just minor sort of things that you can do.
Yep, it's the biggest list of spell you'll ever see.
Oh, I know. Let me just quickly read it.
It's dot point 4 I'm trying to use.
Yeah. Okay, so you flavor it. What's your flavor?
Peaches and cream.
Peaches and cream. So Doderick, you now have rotten, decayed flesh with a hint of peaches and cream. You're not sure whether it's made it more bearable or less. Either way, the smell is absolutely putrid. Anyway,
Thanks, Juan. That's a bit better.
okay. You continue to be lowered into the cave, and as your head appears out of the cave, the light doesn't immediately follow. Oh, sorry, you're going in foot first, aren't you? So you get lowered down, and by the time you can finally see, you can see a pile of about 10, 11 corpses, just all laying on a single pile. What you also see is 4 walking corpses, just eating flesh.
Pull me up!
And they're just like ripping into these bodies and just tearing them out. Can I get you to make a survival check, please?
I don't like this.
Bring back some
17.
weapons.
17. You recognize these corpses as ghouls. You know that they hunt in packs. They have an insatiable taste for flesh and rotting flesh, and they maneuver at night. And this pack has made its way into this cavern and now consuming on the corpses below.
What's the vision of a ghoul like?
Hey?
Is its vision good, or is it kind of like dumb vision?
They
Reacting to the light.
Yeah, I'm worried about my light.
They are basically they maneuver at the same speed as a typical human, and they are sort of perceptive. So
Okay. How do I think I'd be able to see in the cavern if I didn't have that light?
you wouldn't.
Okay. Next question. Describe the cavern to me. Does it look like there's pathways that go in a certain direction?
So you see sort of a squarish cavern at the bottom where this water source is. It almost looks man-made. You can see a couple of scrapes which have been used to enlarge the cavern, perhaps as well as being dug here. The bodies are laying in the water source. And it's just this large sort of poolish lake where these bodies are just sort of pulling in. The rope to the bucket is underneath. What you expect to be a bucket is underneath these bodies. You can see about 10 feet away so this cavern's probably about 20 feet in diameter, all square. 20 feet by 20 feet, and to the north end of this square cavern you can see a tunnel sort of leading away where perhaps these ghouls have come in.
So with ghouls, do I know what they might enjoy eating as a treat?
Flesh.
Any particular kind of flesh?
Flesh.
All right.
Living flesh.
I have an idea.
Now, I think I might stop us here because James is needing to go in 5 minutes. I think
Okay.
this is
True that.
a good spot to stop.
Given we heard him yell out, "Pull up," should we pull him out?
Yeah.
I did hear him yell that.
Yeah. So you reef him out of the well, and Doderick, you now tell everybody what you've seen, and we'll leave it there for today.
Wait.
Well done on your investigative nature. Things are falling into place.
Well, things are falling down holes.
And ghouls are doing ghoul things.
It's frightening.
That was good. I enjoyed that.
Same. All right. Yeah. Sorry, I do need to bounce.
No worries.
So yes,
No problem.
I'll be seeing you in less than a week.